Thursday lunchtime in East Struts. Spencer Oliver is in our midst once again, and I, for one, am thrilled about that. You two know each other well from all your episodes of Top Boxing. I know you well for joining us every Thursday lunchtime, such as this. And I got to know you even better when you and I spent some quality time together away from Simon in Saudi Arabia when we were over there just before Christmas. And I thoroughly enjoyed your company, Spencer. I want that out there.
Yeah, I think that our relationship blossomed without Simon in the picture, and I think that it's going to go from strength to strength. I'm hoping, actually, we're there for the 22nd. You'll be joining us, Jim. I don't think Simon will be there. I'm not sure if you've been invited or if you're going to come.
I saw the pictures of you guys. I thought you made a nice little trio, you and Spencer and Gareth A. Davis. The Three Stooges.
I enjoyed
motley crew.
I enjoyed the double act, myself and Spencer, but I'm not sure if I could go further than that. No, it was great. It was a great night. The coverage was great. We had ourselves a blast, and we enjoyed.
I saw the picture of you with the WBC belt.
Yes,
which was bigger than you.
I was holding one end and Jim was holding the other. It actually was.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was a great occasion, and no doubt we'll do it again, Spencer, on the 22nd of February. Well away from Mr.
Has
Jordan.
He been invited?
We'll be back here. Not yet, but I'm campaigning on it.
He's sort of inviting himself, but
I'm kind of inviting
backing
myself.
his corner because it was a better show with Jim there.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
On the 22nd, of course, we do know that Daniel Dubois, conqueror of AJ, is going to take on the New Zealander, very popular New Zealander, of course, Joseph Parker. And we eagerly look forward to that. So does Joseph, as he told us all on breakfast yesterday.
We were very surprised and probably shocked at the way that Dubois came out and approached the fight. I think he came out with just pure confidence that he could put it on AJ and put him on a back foot straight away. And he showed aggression, he showed a flurry of punches, he showed power. And I think with that fight and with the Hrgovic fight and the Miller fight, his confidence is sky high. And now he's walking around like he is a champion of the world. So I think with that name, I am the champion of the world, the IBF champion of the world, is even more like he's in a position where he wants to show who he is and what he can do.
That was Joseph Parker on the breakfast show yesterday. I thought he spoke very well, Simon.
He always does.
He always does. He's always very fair. He's never trying to point score in a discussion. He's always like straight on the level, which I like about Joseph.
No, he is. I mean, he's a top class operator in all aspects, both in the ring and outside of the ring. And so you find yourself in a situation when you listen to Joseph Parker that there's not a lot of trash talking that goes on. He can have a go. And, he did the other day in the face-off when he had a little bit back and forward with Daniel Dubois with Adi Oladipo on DAZN. But most of the time you get sensible conversation about him. He's very respectful. He's also a very good fighter. I just think that Daniel Dubois is going to be a step too far for him. I don't think it's a formality, but I do think that Daniel will win, and I do think that he'll stop him.
I think it's very fair to say that they've both come into their own in recent times.
Indeed.
I think that Joseph Parker, you have to go back to, 2016, when he won that world heavyweight title, against Andy Ruiz. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride for him, but he's in form at the moment.
Andy Lee's a big difference, isn't he?
Deontay Wilder, Andy Lee has made a huge difference, not just physically, but mentally as well with him, and I think he now believes in himself, and that's what we're seeing in these interviews now, where he comes out, speaks very well. He used to be quite shy and reserved.
I thought he was pretty outspoken when he fought Anthony Joshua in 2018. He told everybody what he was going to bring to the fight, and he was very on the front foot. Obviously, the fact that he couldn't deliver it and the referee didn't help. But I think now this version of him is a mature fighter. I think he steps in more, doesn't he?
Absolutely. I think what you got to take from him, Simon, is when he boxed Deontay Wilder, no one knew what Deontay Wilder had left. Everyone saw Wilder as a big favourite going into that. So he would have known that as well. But the way he approached the fight, the way he took the fight away from Deontay Wilder, took that punch power away from him by closing the gap and actually going at him, and that worked against Deontay Wilder, surprised Wilder. I think that tactically they got it spot on. Andy Lee's very, very good. They're students of the game, and it's a great fight. It's a great fight. Real 50-50 that.
Spencer, moments ago, Simon mentioned on DAZN the sit-down that Adi Oladipo has had with Dubois and Parker. We'll get to that in a second. But here's one for you. How does Dubois reach the levels that the era of Fury, Joshua, Usyk, Wilder actually got to?
That I think that he has to be the best of this modern era. And
is he capable of that?
I think he's definitely capable of it. Yeah. I think, listen, he's 27 years of age. He's been on that journey. He's developed. He's matured as a fighter. He's done his apprenticeship, and now speaking to Don Charles yesterday, actually, in the gym, and seeing Daniel in the gym, this kid's gone to another level now. He believes in himself so much more. He's always had the physicalities, but it was always about the self-belief, and I think that that's maybe what he was lacking. Alexander Usyk was a turning point when he lost to Usyk out in Poland, and since then he's gone from strength to strength, and you know, he's going to be a tough one to beat now, Daniel Dubois, but I think to get to that superstardom that he wants to reach, you've got to box the best of that era. I think that he still needs fights with, you know, I'd love to see him in with Tyson Fury. I'd like to see that fight. I'd like to see him actually against Alexander Usyk again, because I think he does much better next time, and I think that's the fight that he's chasing.
Difficulty for him when you compare him to, say, Joshua and Fury, their personalities will reverberate greater than Daniel's, because Joshua was the poster boy for British boxing for a period of time. Not that it should be prevalent, but a lot of these fighters carried an unbeaten record for a significant period of time. Now, losses, if most fighters will say ignore losses, is about what you do next, right? And having an O isn't always relative. But the fact that Fury's unique personality, the fact that Joshua's unique status, they catapulted them. So it's difficult for Daniel, given his personality and his outlook in the world. He's going to have to be in the ring, and for that he needs dance partners. And dance partners that capture the imagination.
Sure. One thing you have by the bucket load, Mr. Jordan, is charisma. Daniel Dubois doesn't have a lot of that. Does he make up?
He's developing it.
He's developing it. I like the fact that he is developing it.
He actually is, you know, and I think that he's going to fall into that category of like a Frank Bruno type character, where people sort of like, you know, there's something very infectious about Daniel Dubois. Like you say, like he might not, you know, have the, you know, he might not be the most outspoken and a man of few words, but he is coming out of his shell a lot, and when he speaks, he's very, very likable. When you're around him, he's a lovely, humble guy.
Well, he delivers lines with a wry smile as well, Simon, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the lines that he delivers are often ones that people have said to him, and then he latches upon them and he repeats them because he's not a natural raconteur. The box office, the bejazzle part of it, where you get the sizzle, I'm not sure he's going to have that. Right. He's not going to have the Fury presence. Whatever we think of some of Fury's outbursts, he's got personality. Joshua's the same.
Well, he's not bouncing in as Batman, is he?
No. Actually, Spencer, judge for yourself here, because Simon mentioned it. The sit down with Dubois and Joseph Parker that Addy did with the two of them on the zone. Have a listen.
Okay, I'm going to ask both fighters for predictions as we wrap, but I want you to tell the prediction to the other, not to me. Joseph, tell Daniel how this fight plays out.
I'm going to go into this fight. I'm going to be too smart, too fast. Movement's going to be on point. I'm going to be deliberate, precise. I'm going to be aggressive. That's it.
Cut it. That's enough.
I'm going to bash you
acting.
up.
Enough acting, mate.
Who's acting?
Shut up.
Who's acting?
Shut up.
You shut your face.
You shut up.
You shut your face.
Your mouth. Shut your mouth, man.
Is that all you can say? Shut your face. Shut your mouth. Talking shit.
Yeah.
How? That's what I'm going to do to you.
I'm ready to fight, you know, by any means necessary.
You talk too much.
I mean, at the end there, they just ended up staring at each other, but Dubois couldn't take the smile off his face. And I quite like that.
Where he struggles is when Joseph Parker tells him that he got put on his backside by a jab. Then Daniel, someone like Fury or someone like Joshua will have a riposte. Daniel doesn't have that. He'll have by any means necessary, because he's heard that and he's repeated it and it's been locked into his psyche. I've come to fight. That was the mentality he deployed in the pre-Joshua fight. I'm here to fight. I'm here to fight. I'm here to fight. This one is not by any means necessary. Frank had to step in and deal with that issue. Right. Surprised Don Charles wasn't there, by the way.
Yeah, I am surprised Don weren't there, to
Should
be fair.
Been there, by the way.
You know, when you see him now, Daniel, and you see like the character that he's grown into, that self-belief. When he boxed Anthony Joshua, all the talk was about, you know, Joshua feeding off this atmosphere. He's been there before. Klitschko, he knows what it is. Will Daniel Dubois freeze under the lights with the big crowds, etc.? He was the one that looked like the Terminator walking in. He soaks it all up, and like, you know, I think that he's changed here mentally, psychologically, and I think that is a
changed
huge...
as well, Spence, because nobody really expected him. There was 96,000 people waiting to anoint Anthony Joshua. In this fight now, a lot of people will think Daniel Dubois is the favourite. So the balance has now changed. So he goes in there with a different set of expectations on his shoulders. Yeah. And we'll see if he can. I think he will.
Yeah.
I just said I think he will.
I like that phrase in the world of boxing, Simon. You need a dance partner. You used it a moment ago. Others have had dance partners. Eubank Ben, Fury Wilder, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson. Who might Daniel Dubois' dance partner emerge to be?
Well, Daniel's 26, 27 years of age. It could come out of the ether that it's someone like Moses Atuma in the next couple of years. That could be the stellar fight that people capture one's imagination. Could be.
Do you know what? This is where I'm at. I think that he's got 2 dance partners out there right now for me.
Bacoli.
If he can, not Bacoli. If he can capture Usyk before he goes out, if he can get that fight again, which he'll be chasing if he comes through this and victorious. Usyk, obviously, because he's the stellar name and the guy that's considered the best of the modern generation, and Moses Atuma, because that kid is the next heavyweight superstar.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.